going into the week, and obviously I work for another podcast, Roker Report, and stuff like that, where we've done a couple of interviews now. And we interviewed a Coventry fan on Tuesday leading up the game, and and this was pretty much everything I was reading on Twitter. Everything I was seeing, even from Coventry fans, was, we're really looking forward to playing Sunderland because they've not beat us for years. We hammered them 3-0 at our ground like less than 3 months ago. We've got the team to beat Sunderland, this, that, and the other. And you know what? I was nervous. I must admit, out of every one of the teams I wanted to play in the playoffs, Coventry were probably near the bottom because of that record and stuff like that. And it's there's a rivalry and all of that bollocks, to be honest. But it was it's a difficult place to go down there, and we're all concerned about, we've had injuries, we've had this, we've had that, and what team we put out. And to be fair to Regis, he's had a lot of stick the last 3 months because we haven't hit form. We've rested players, we've done this, we've done that. But we went into the playoffs in fourth place. Well, I think we'd lost 5 in a row. We weren't in absolutely no momentum whatsoever. But over the 2 legs, and I will talk about Friday first, for me, goes to prove that momentum in football means absolutely shit, to be honest. Because on Friday night, we defended tremendously. We gave Coventry very, very little. And a lot, yes, I am, by the way, Alan. A lot of people who have watched the game have said, well, Coventry dominated. Yet Coventry had a lot of the ball. They didn't dominate the game. You know what I mean? They had 2 shots on target. One of them was the goal. We played a superb game. We took everything that they had in the first half. We sat back. We let them have the ball. They couldn't break our lines. Everything like that. I thought like Sakamoto had a really, really good game for them. But everyone else, like the Ben Chiefs, who was meant to be brilliant, Jack Radone had a decent game, and I realised Jack Radone. But we just took all that pressure, and then once it hit 60 minutes, it was like, right, we're going to have a go now. And we did. We got a goal through Wilson Isidore. And if you think Graham shouted loudly tonight, I woke my next door neighbours up. How loud I shouted when Wilson Isidore's goal went in. And I thought, you know what, we've absolutely hit the biggest sucker punch known to man, and then we concede a really, really soft goal. It's the first time we switch off, and when is the most ridiculous time to concede a goal? After you've just scored, because everyone's just obviously that happy. I mean, I just stopped celebrating, sat back down, they'd scored, and I thought, you know what, a point's mint, right? A draw's mint. You know what I mean? Go back to steam, right? We'll have them. That's how confident I was. I was like, we'll have them. And then we get, a ridiculous back pass from Van Erwijk, who I know Coventry fans were giving a little bit of stick, but he was class for both games. Mayender's got in. Mayender's took the goalkeeper on. Bang in. 2-1. That was just class. Which takes us on to Tuesday. And I've supported this club for 39 years. 39 years, and I have never, ever, and I'm getting fucking emotional here talking about it, I have never seen a better atmosphere post-match, pre-match, post-match in my life. Everything, the fans, the players, the back staff, everything was perfect. Like they did the whole, they lined up the streets for the team bus going in. There was smoke coming up with flares and everything like that. Which must make them players feel 10 feet tall. Seeing the fans doing that and stuff. Before the game, they dedicated one of the stands, the West Stand, to Jimmy Montgomery, who was our goalkeeper in 1970. Obviously made that double save. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. Just tremendous, and not been a better save since. Absolutely brilliant. And he got that stand, and there was your Jordan Pickfords there, your Jermaine Defoe's, your Mickey Grays, your Peter Reeds, your Ahmad Diallo, who was there, the best loan player we've ever had. It just all set up, and then when the players come out, it was like fire, and there was a big T4 that got brought down with a cat on, and then till the end and all that stuff. It was perfect, absolutely perfect before that game. And it made, like Claire mentioned before, being proud, it made me just like, it made me proud. I would have run through walls for anyone of that team on Tuesday night. And getting into the game, I thought it was a bit more the same of the Friday game. I thought we controlled it really well. We had a couple of chances. I think Ben Wilson's made a really good save from Eliza Mayenda. And we made the wrong decisions when we had the ball, and we were trying to like, there was some couple times when Mayenda had it and he kept his head down where he thought was a pass, and we just made it a little bit too late. And you could tell we were getting a little bit like nervous in ourselves. I got to half time, I thought, yeah, I'm still happy. We'll get a goal here. We're all right. And then I've got to give Coventry credit for this. Fair play to them. From the 45th minute to when they scored, they were outstanding. They took control of that game. They were winning all the midfield battles. The wingers were getting more and more forward, and they were sending us further back. And I hadn't said like a minute. I said they're going to score here, and then they go and score through. I think it was Blake wanted to put it in. Really nice finish. Thought again we switched off, and then we were just waiting for the subs to come. And Regis was a little bit. He's always a bit slow making subs, but you could tell he was like, we're going to have to take extra time here. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's on Twitter somewhere. I'm just going to star a couple of these because I need to. There we go. Because Sam's put quite a few in. And like I say, when they scored, I forgot to mention this. Alex has put this in. Credit for Sunderland for bringing the advertising boards close to the pitch to stop the Coventry long throw.
Another bit of shit housing.
I was reading on Friday on the build up of the game. I was like, well, they're not very good anyway. It never happened. He didn't take one long throw, not one in that game. So of course, to show that and we deliberately turned the heating up in there. Dressing room and something about the water. I think they didn't drain the water.
Oh my god!
So it was Charlton have won. Oh well, congratulations, Graham. Gutted for Doddsy, but congratulations, Graham. I might see you at Wembley. Might see him there on the Sunday after we've won.
Pitch invasion! You love to see it.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh yes.
But yeah, I've just started. There we go. But then, like I say, it goes in extra time. He brings on Chris Rigg, and then in the first couple of minutes of extra time, brings on Romain Mundle. And that's what won us the game because we made very good reactive substitutions, whereas I don't think Lampard made the correct subs. As in, he brought Brandon Thomas-Asante on, which I thought was a bit more the same. And in 2 games, they've spent 8 million on Ellis Sims, and Ellis Sims is ex-Sunderland, and every time an ex-Sunderland player comes and plays against Sunderland, he scores. And he did not play 1 minute in that game, and I thought that was a mistake from Frank Lampard, I've got to be honest. But you could tell Coventry were getting tired. I thought we took over in extra time. I did forget to mention just before the final whistle went, Hadji Wright missed an absolute sitter, which he's got to score, to be fair, but Ballard puts him off and it ends up going well wide, but he's got to score that. And I think that was that was the big game changer there. The actual tears, oh bless you, Graham. That was me on Tuesday, just bringing it all back. And then a little bit of breaking. I don't know if you know this guy, Stephen Fletcher has left Wrexham.
I don't think he'd have cut it in Championship anyway. What is he, 36, 37?
Yeah, he's about my age, isn't he? So yeah. He has got great hair now, though, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, back from his days at Burnley, a completely shaved, like Shane Warne.
Oh, no.
Like, what the heck is going on here?
No.
Oh, I've stopped the Southend scored.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No. Set piece. Awful defending again.
Oh, Shaw.
Oh,
no. Wrong again. It hasn't even updated on Flash Spam. I'm going to have to refresh that.
Oh, that was awful.
Claire, is your Mickey Mouse Teddy talking?
Yeah, it's still not updated on this, so it must be very
boy, hurt you.
But that's sad, isn't it? That's so sad about Dale. It's another one of them, isn't it, where we've got a happy family and then a sad family on the same show. But what we're on about now, it's extra time, and we started making them chances in the second half of extra time. We just looked to get them. Mundell got a lot of the ball. I think Chris Rigg played really, really well when he came on. Enzo Lafayette was starting to get into those positions where he was looking dangerous. At least one Coventry fans here. Fair play to him. Oh no, playoffs. There we go. Fair play for coming, Glenn. You know what I mean? I've got to say that. And good luck in the final, and thank you very much, mate. Because a lot of Cov fans I've seen on Twitter are like, "Oh, I hope Sheffield United stuff them now."
That's classy. That.
Yeah, so fair play. I'll applaud that. Thank you. Yeah. Really, and I really hope as well that Lampard stays at Coventry because I think he's. Can
I just say something about that game?
Yes.
Your captain, forgotten his name. What's he called? Dan Neil. What an absolutely classy man he is. Like, obviously, put the game aside. By the way, the absolute scenes from every part of the Sunderland fans in that ground. Wow. But your captain, at the end of the match when he was interviewed and he was asking about this, that. Every single question was about what the other guys had done, what other players are leaders, who did this, who did this. Never once gave himself any credit whatsoever.
Mm.
And he mentioned everybody's name, didn't he? And basically give them the limelight.
Yeah, brilliant. It was so classy. And I thought, do you know what? That's a leader. That's a proper leader. Selfless, putting everybody in front of himself. Clearly, absolutely buzzing as well, by the way.
And he's a man as well. So
I know what I was going to say. He said, I'm from here. I get it. I know what it means to support this club. But I just wanted to say, like, how amazing he came across in his interview, because I thought, fair enough, like, there's so many things you could do, but as your captain, praise everybody else and not say one thing about himself or his own game. Just thought, fair play to him for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what, again, and it made me emotional watching, because obviously, we're both Mackhams and we both, he's been like, I remember him in the, they always bring the picture up of him and Sam Greenwood, who no longer plays for us now. Picture of them two at the League Cup final when we got beat off City, and he's only a kid, and he's like, he's living the dream, isn't he? You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do when I was young. I wanted to captain Sunderland, and he's living the dream, and it's class, it's class to say that he's managing to do it. He's living every Mackham's dream, and he's a class footballer. I thought he actually had a bad game on Tuesday, so I'm not too it. I thought Jobe helped them out far. I thought Jobe was outstanding, but
what an outstanding player he is as well, by the way.
Phenomenal.
And I'm not digging anybody's specific out, but can we please all stop saying is living off his brother's name? Is living off his own name, and
there's a reason he doesn't have the surname on the back of the shirt, because he's head from the sky wants to be known as Jobe and Jobe Bellingham.
Yeah,
he's an incredible player.
Identity.
Do you know what it is as well? And I was going to leave this for after, because I still haven't mentioned the goal yet, but I will go into Jobe Bellingham, because I've been on Twitter and I think I agree with that. You need to stop saying the name, but what we've got to do is stop comparing the two. Because Jobe Bellingham is a 10. That's where Jude plays. He plays just behind the striker for Real Madrid, for England, this, that, and the other. Jobe Bellingham is a number 8. So he's a completely different player. And what Jobe does, with Jude gets forward at every opportunity. Jobe always helps out at the back. So he's going out there, he's winning tackles, he's putting his body in. And that's not what Jude does not do that. You know what I mean? Jobe puts everything on the line. I'm not saying Jude does that because he does, but like, Jobe is more of a winner of the ball, a stopper of attacks than what Jobe Bellingham is, and they're both making their way in different circumstances. But the fact that the dad watches, and the fact that Jobe's mum was there on
that melted my heart.
Absolutely amazing. And if you watch, I've watched so many reactions to the goal, but Jobe's actually crying when we score. You know what I mean? If that's not, if he hasn't bought into this, then why has he, like I said, and Glenn's put there, he's more of a Declan Rice, and I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. And for me as well,
airing chalk and cheese in it.
Yeah, and for me, do you know what as well? I just want him. I want him to be known as Jobe Bellingham, not Jude's brother, not this, that, and not compared to this and the other. He's Jobe Bellingham. He's a fucking good footballer. That's all I'm honest. Like, he's had scouts from Dortmund watching both of those games. Scouts from Dortmund aren't going to go and watch him just because he's Jude's brother. They've actually seen him. They've watched him play football. And, you know, this one from Big Girls Really Do Cry. Like, they're such a lovely team of lads who have a huge connection with each other, and the fans and the celebration showed that. And again, I saw them talk about the goal, but it's something I do want to talk about. Like, we've gone through the last, 7 or 8 years before Kirill Louis-Dreyfus took over the club. We have got, like, the likes of Darren Gibson, who came for a payday and, drove his car into someone else and all this stuff. They came for massive money. They came and they took the piss, likes of him, Stephen Pienaar and Will Grigg and players like that who just did not give a shit about this badge. We have got a group of players who will run through walls for each other and will run through walls for the fans. And that's all we ask for as Sunderland supporters, is that you give everything for the badge. And they do, and that's why we love them. You know what I mean? I don't. I'll be gutted whoever. Players are going to leave, no matter what league we're in. Players will leave, but it's just at the minute. And I'll get back to the game because I do have to talk about the goal. And I think this comment kind of brings me up. The last 15 minutes, we were the team that looked likely who were going to win. We had a little bit more about us. I think Coventry were tiring. I think Josh Eccles went off for them, which I thought made a big difference, because he was class when he came on. He was, and I think he was the one who helped them turn the tide of the game. And he had to go off. I think he got injured. I think he took a knock, like making a tackle, and he had to go off. But we got a corner right at the end, and I'd said, it was this is it basically. This or nothing really, because I couldn't think of 5 penalty takers. We were joking. We actually made a sub and we brought Leo Kjelder on. I was like, Leo Kjelder must be a penalty taker, because he'd come on for a minute, and Kjelder and Hume do really well with the corner because they pin off and they make a little circle run where they run out the box and run back in, and it takes 3 Coventry players with them, and it leaves Ballard on his own. And Ballard's jumped up with it, he's jumped too early, so he's coming back down when the ball hits his head, and he's kind of in a folding deck chair kind of position like this, and it just goes in. I mean, it's pandemonium in that stadium, and I have never, and I say this as again for been going since I was 6, so 33 years I've been going year after year after year. I have never heard a noise like that in that stadium. That was absolutely brilliant. Just everyone diving on top of each other, it was that roar, and that's why we go through this. That's why we go through the absolute crap of supporting football clubs, like with the 4 that we do, because they give you moments like that on Tuesday night, when Stockport got promoted. Morgan will have the day again. Dan with Burnley being promoted again. You live for these moments. This is why you go through the rain, the pissy down rain, the sleet and snow, the long holiday travels and stuff like that for a moment like that. And that moment it'll never be beaten in my mind. Even if we go up, even if we get the Champions League or whatever, which won't happen, but if anything happens, that moment will stay with me for the rest of my life, because I've never felt anything like that in my life. It was just pure, unadulterated, mad joy. And I've never, unless, whenever I'm lucky enough to have a child or whatever, that moment won't be. And it was unbelievable. And to see, and Claire mentioned it before, he used all as well, going get in, and this, that, and the other. It was class. It was just mint. I just absolutely adored it. They're going on to, and then obviously afterwards, the players celebrating, Ballard's in the crowd, everyone's in the crowd. We did pitch and fade, which I hate, and
get a grip.
I would love to pitch and fade. When we got promoted, we couldn't do it for COVID, so I would love to do it.
Just a few idiots, and I've got to say, a few of them went over the Coventry players, and I thought that was ridiculous. And I'm sorry to any Coventry player who got stick because it's shit. Because we've been in that situation before where we've been on the floor and we've not had players or fans come up to us like that. So I don't think that should happen, because that's a team. And I will say, for Coventry, the job that Lampard has done at that football club has been absolutely amazing. That was a fairy tale story. Unfortunately, we had to end it. I didn't agree with him. I didn't agree with his post-match comments when he said they were the best. They controlled the game. This, that, and the other controlled the tie. I think it was a good tie between two teams who played differently, and we were lucky to be better. I thought we were lucky to come out with it. I thought we were better on Friday than what we were on Tuesday. But I think if you look at the tie on balance, penalties might have been the fair result. But that's football. It happens. But I think Coventry will come back next season. I think they'll be a team to watch, to be honest. And it'll give Lampard a transfer window where he can bring his own team in. I think they'll do really well. But I just didn't agree with his comments on Tuesday night. As Ryan put there, fully fit squad attributed for the best club in the playoffs. Do you think 4-4-2 again with Mundell back would find out the fear where he needs to be? Yes, I think we will play 4-4-2 because we played 4-4-2 against them at home at the start of the year and we beat them 2-1. So I think it'll be more the same where we we'll have to soak up a lot of pressure and there's Kiefer Moore to deal with. But when we've got a player like Dan Ballard, who I think won every header that came into his way on Friday and Tuesday. I mean, there was only one player who was going to score for us, and that was Dan Ballard. And he's only had 30 minutes of football prior to the playoffs. He'd been out for a little while. And for 2 games, and this is a big call to drop Chris Mepham, who's been brilliant for us, to bring Ballard in, but that was phenomenal.
He said that himself, didn't he, as well? He said that himself. He said that, I was surprised to even get the call the way that Chris Mepham's played all season.
Yeah.
So fair play to him.
Yeah, I mean, they can't drop him. They can't drop him from the final. He should be the first name on the team sheet, won't he? I hope he doesn't get injured. But Spenny Chris has finally joined us. We haven't got long left, Chris. But just finished World Cup, everyone as well. We're fine. Thank you very much, sir. And obviously, I just want to say as well, commiserations on at the weekend. But I thought your fans and the town of Spennymoor did yourselves proud on Saturday. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I boxed out with Spennymoor, so thought it was your accident. So it is what it is. Has Anne finished talking goal? Yes, I have. So going into the final, tickets bought, trains bought, hotels bought, cost a fucking fortune.
Priceless.
Yeah.
It's Wembley, even if you lose, it's still priceless.
Yeah. You know what? I actually think we can do it. I was more worried about Coventry than I am Sheffield United. Because we've beat Sheffield United this season. We should have got a draw against them at their ground, and we actually played really, really well at their ground. They've got players that can hurt us, of course. They have like Callum O'Hare, Gustavo Rema, Kiefer Moore, Raksati and the wings and stuff. Burrows, who I think is a wonderful footballer. But we've also got players who can hurt them. And I think if we do what we did against Coventry, I think we'll win. So I'm nervous, don't get us wrong. I'll be more nervous when the week comes in. But you know what? Like, considering 4 years ago we're in League One, to be having 3 seasons in the Championship, to hit playoffs 2 years out of 3, I think is brilliant. And I think this club's, even if we don't go up, I would fancy us to win the league next year. I'm not worried about any of the 3 teams going down. I just think we're in a really, really good place now. And I think the stars have aligned a little bit for us. I really do. I think the whole thing of going into the playoffs with that momentum where he knew he was resting places, I think has worked a treat. And we'll find out next Saturday. Look, whatever happens, I'll be so proud of them. I'm not at the point where I don't care, because I would like to see us go up. I would like to see us win at Wembley.